Good evening, Sadler's Wells, and everybody watching around the world. I'd like to have given a speech from the heart tonight, but there's so much to say in so little time, so I hope you'll forgive me if I read from notes. My name is David Cazalet. I'm the composer and producer of Requiem for Aleppo. For the next hour and a half, I hope you'll feel moved and transported by what you see. Whether you're watching right here in this theater, one of the most famous dance stages in the world, or watching from many of the live screenings that are taking place from New York to Oslo, from Istanbul to Sydney, or simply watching on YouTube and Facebook on your phone or computer. We are all bound together right now in collective solidarity with those who have had their lives shattered by what has happened in Syria. Over the last few years, I have felt utterly overwhelmed, as I'm sure everyone else has, by the news and images coming out of Aleppo. How could one not be? Halfway through last year, I began to feel that watching the events on TV was a passive thing, and that inaction was a form of resignation. So I decided to compose a piece of music to encapsulate my feelings, my own personal lament, if you like, for those who had innocently been caught up in the horror. My plan was to use it as a backdrop for something bigger, something non-political, to get to the underlying human tragedy beyond the politics, that would somehow provide an outlet for the unresolved emotions we feel about Syria, whilst at the same time acting as a platform to raise money, an appeal, if you like, to our common humanity. I've never been to Aleppo, but I've always been drawn to the musical heritage of that beautiful ancient city, with its mixture of Arabic, Christian, and Jewish influences. I decided to base the music for a Requiem piece around this, drawing on the Latin words of the Christian Requiem Mass, mixed with Aramaic, which some sources suggest goes back to the Apostolic era, and weaving into it early Arab poetry, which talks of life, death, love, war, and loss. You can read the translations of the poetry in the back of the program. Late last year, I gave part of the piece to Amanda Britton, artistic principal of the wonderful Rambert School of Ballet and Contemporary Dance. And she, in true Rambert School style, blew fire into it by giving it to the exciting up-and-coming choreographer Jason Mabana, himself an ex-student of the school. Today is the result of an extremely intense journey. 12 dancers from around the world, from different dance disciplines, chosen from over 500 who auditioned, none of them having worked together before, have come together to create what you will see tonight, having spent less than a month in rehearsals together. The many different languages in the rehearsal studio endlessly re-emphasizing to me the truly international spirit of this piece. In a similar amount of time, my friend, the writer Ben Faccini, who has been a real source of energy and drive in this whole project, then helped earth the abstraction of the dance in memory, reflection, and experience by recording real-life testimony from Aleppans and Syrians, young and old, people who had been affected by the conflict, and many of whom are with us in the audience tonight. I urge you, please, to read the full version of their powerful accounts in the program. To those who gave testimony, I say thank you for what you have shared with us. It is impossible to properly imagine what you have been through, but we are here tonight and around the world listening to your words with open hearts. 4 months ago, none of this existed. It is all coming together right now. We only came into the theater to set up today to test everything. Speed and urgency has been the driving force. In this time, I've received incredible support for the project. Given as ever the constraints of time, I cannot thank all the people who have been involved from here, but please read what is in the program or on the website, for my thanks to them are heartfelt. It goes to sponsors, to creatives, to the stage folk of this wonderful theatre, to singers, to those who have helped me keep the show on the road, and to, of course, my fellow musicians and their spirit. 2 people, however, I would like specifically to mention. I would like to thank Lady Sainsbury, who made her name on this very stage as a dancer. Her support and enthusiasm, together with the Limbry Trust, has been behind this project from the very beginning. And without her, And without her support and that of the Trust, none of this could have happened. I would also like to personally thank Mr. Wafiq Saeed and the Saeed Foundation. He and the Foundation are a tremendous force for good in supporting the lives of disadvantaged Syrians. I am happy to say that money from this night will go directly to helping give hope and support to his fellow countrymen, something that he and the Foundation work tirelessly for. In the course of this project, I've also been constantly aware of a wider sense of goodwill. The fact that this theatre was sold out nearly a month and a half ago being part of this, a sense that people really do want to do something for Syria, but that they don't quite know how best to go about it, that in a busy, noisy world, though one is conscious of the horror and shocked by images of utter despair, it is all too easy to get distracted and leave feelings unacted upon. If, like me, you have felt like this, then I say to those watching the live stream that maybe now could be a moment to decide to make a difference, to follow the Just Giving link that you will see flashing on your screens, to donate whatever you think appropriate, no matter how small, for it will make a difference. And I would also ask you, if you feel that the intent of this event is right, to share it now, right now, via any social media, with your network of friends, so that they might do the same. All of you in the audience tonight have contributed to charity by buying a ticket. The two chosen beneficiaries tonight are Syria Relief and Techfugees, two organizations at the forefront of crisis situations, saving lives and then giving hope and opportunity to the survivors, long after the TV cameras and the rest of the world has moved on. I have been so struck by the energy of these organizations, their work, their people, their vision, their compassion. Please see more about them in the program, their work and what they do, also on the website. And speaking to you directly here tonight, you will see there are leaflets in the program with information about how you can donate and a text number. For me, dance has a way of articulating primal emotions in unfathomable ways. This is particularly so of contemporary dance. It speaks directly to something in all of us. I hope you will feel this tonight. I hope the music I have written is worthy of this act of collective remembrance. I know the testimony of the few carries a truth that speaks for the millions. My ultimate vision is that this will tour and continue to raise awareness and money, and that tonight is the start of the Requiem for Aleppo's journey. I will leave you now with John Simpson, the BBC World Affairs editor, a man who, in search for truth, has seen more than most of us, humanity at its most extreme. I have asked him for a personal view on what he has seen in his memories. At the end of the show, I will ask my friend from Aleppo, Ahmad al-Rashid, to say a few words, and in a sense return us back to the everyday, from the abstract world of dance and music, to give a sense of proportion of what the world has seen. I'd like to end taking the words from one of the testimonies you will hear tonight, given over a mobile phone from a Syrian in Turkey who wanted to stay anonymous. I need you now to know that the millions of Syrians who are now all around the world, and also around you, their only crime is they wanted to live just like you, in freedom. I just want to go back home. I want to live with my own thoughts, with my own ideas. I want to be free to see what I want and to do what I want, just like you. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the show. This is John Simpson.